Imagine this. You land in a country you've never been to before. You expect chaos, confusion, noise, taxi drivers shouting, lines that don't move, bureaucracy wrapped in frustration. But instead, the airport is quiet, not empty, just calm. The immigration officer smiles. The train arrives exactly when it says it will. The Wi-Fi connects instantly. The highway is smooth. The signage is in multiple languages. Prices are fair. Nobody is arguing. You blink. This wasn't supposed to feel this easy. That's when you realize something. Malaysia solved a problem the rest of the world still hasn't figured out. And it's not what you think. Every country claims to be diverse. Many are, but most are struggling. Across the world, multicultural societies are under pressure. Political tension rises. Economic inequality grows. Communities live side by side, but not always together. The question haunting governments everywhere is simple. How do you build unity without erasing identity? It's one of the hardest problems on Earth. And somehow, in Southeast Asia, a country most people reduce to beaches and street food has quietly been experimenting with an answer. Welcome to Malaysia. Let's zoom out. Malaysia is not a small, isolated nation with one language and one culture. It is a country built on layers. Indigenous communities, Malay Muslims, Chinese Malaysians, Indian Malaysians, dozens of ethnic groups, multiple religions, multiple languages, colonial history, rapid modernization. On paper, it sounds like a recipe for permanent tension. And yet, walk through Kuala Lumpur and you'll see something unusual. A mosque, call to prayer, echoes in the distance. A Hindu temple stands glowing nearby. A Buddhist shrine is tucked between shop houses. A mall plays English pop music. Street vendors shout in Malay, Mandarin, Tamil, and English. And nobody looks surprised. Because here, this is normal. Malaysia's answer wasn't dramatic. It wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't loud. It was practical. The country built systems, education, public policy, infrastructure, and urban design around the reality that diversity is permanent. Instead of pretending everyone is the same, Malaysia acknowledged difference and then built structures to manage it. That's the key. Not erase it, not fight it, manage it. Before we start, if you love discovering the hidden systems that make countries quietly win while others struggle, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel isn't just about travel, it's about uncovering the invisible mechanics behind places that work. And today's story? It might completely change how you see Malaysia. You're walking near Masjid Jamek. It's Friday. The streets are full of worshippers. Traffic slows. Shops adjust their schedules. It's built into the rhythm of the city. Now, fast forward to Batu Caves during Taipusam. Thousands gather. Devotion fills the air. Roads close. Public services adapt. The system flexes. The government calendar reflects multiple religious holidays. Businesses plan around them. Schools acknowledge them. It's not perfect. There are tensions. There are debates. But the framework is there. Malaysia didn't try to flatten identity. It built around it. If you want to understand Malaysia, forget politics. Go eat. At a hawker stall in Penang, you'll find Malay nasi lemak, Chinese char kway teow, and Indian roti canai within 10 steps of each other. Nobody calls it fusion. It's just lunch. Food in Malaysia is not competition. It's coexistence. And this might sound simple, but shared public spaces matter. When people eat together, sit together, wait in the same lines, they normalize each other. In many countries, communities are segregated by income, geography, or class. In Malaysia, the Mamak restaurant at 11 p.m. is a democratic institution. Students, office workers, families, taxi drivers, one table, one conversation. Here's where things get complicated. Malaysia faced serious economic inequality after independence. The government introduced policies aimed at uplifting the majority Malay population while maintaining space for other communities. Controversial? Yes. Debated? Absolutely. But the goal was stability. And over time, Malaysia built one of Southeast Asia's more diversified economies: manufacturing, palm oil, tourism, electronics, Islamic finance, and digital services. Walk through the skyline of Kuala Lumpur. The towers aren't symbolic only of wealth. They represent controlled modernization. And in the heart of that skyline stands the iconic Petronas Twin Towers, once the tallest buildings in the world, a symbol of ambition, a message. We can be global and still be Malaysian. Now let's talk travel, because this is where visitors feel it first. Landing in Kuala Lumpur International Airport, you step into efficiency. The express train is clear, the highways are maintained, public transport signage is multilingual. Malaysia invested heavily in infrastructure early. It understood something powerful. When systems work, tension decreases. When citizens and visitors feel competence, trust grows. And trust is the real currency of diverse societies. Malaysia practices something subtle and increasingly rare: moderation. While political debates exist, as they do everywhere, daily life rarely feels extreme. The government walks a tightrope between religious values and global business interests. It's not always smooth, but compared to countries where polarization dominates headlines, Malaysia's tone often feels calmer. It's not utopia, it's functional. And that matters. Here's the twist. Tourism isn't just economic for Malaysia, it's strategic. When the country markets itself, beaches in Langkawi, rainforests in Borneo, heritage streets in Georgetown, it markets a shared identity. Not Malay only, not Chinese only, not Indian only, Malaysian. Visit Georgetown, a UNESCO heritage site. Colonial buildings, Chinese clan houses, Indian temples, Islamic architecture, layered history, preserved, not erased. Malaysia sells its diversity as an asset. Many countries see diversity as a challenge. Malaysia turned it into branding. Here's where things get complicated. Malaysia faced serious economic inequality after independence. The government introduced policies aimed at uplifting the majority Malay population while maintaining space for other communities. Controversial? Yes. Debated? Absolutely. But the goal was stability. And over time, Malaysia built one of Southeast Asia's more diversified economies: manufacturing, palm oil, tourism, electronics, Islamic finance, and digital services. Walk through the skyline of Kuala Lumpur. The towers aren't symbolic only of wealth. They represent controlled modernization. And in the heart of that skyline stands the iconic Petronas Twin Towers, once the tallest buildings in the world, a symbol of ambition, a message. We can be global and still be Malaysian. Now let's talk travel, because this is where visitors feel it first. Landing in Kuala Lumpur International Airport, you step into efficiency. The express train is clear, The highways are maintained. Public transport signage is multilingual. Malaysia invested heavily in infrastructure early. It understood something powerful. When systems work, tension decreases. When citizens and visitors feel competence, trust grows. And trust is the real currency of diverse society. During regional economic downturns and global crises, Malaysia often chose pragmatic responses over ideological ones. The leadership focused on stability, investor confidence, and social order. You may not always see it in headlines, but travelers feel it. You don't feel tension in the air. You feel movement. So what problem did Malaysia solve? Not racism. It still exists. Not inequality. It still debates it. Not politics. It still has divisions. Malaysia solved something deeper. It normalized difference. Instead of asking, how do we eliminate cultural distinction? It asked, how do we structure society so distinction doesn't break it? That's the quiet genius. In many countries, immigration is treated as temporary. Diversity is treated as disruption. Cultural identity is politicized into extremes. Malaysia, from its founding, accepted diversity as foundational. When something is foundational, you build around it. You don't argue whether it belongs. Visitors often say the same things. It feels easy. It feels safe. It feels welcoming. It feels organized. You don't need to understand the policy to feel the outcome. That's the mark of good design. Travel to Malaysian Borneo. Dense rainforest older than the Amazon. Then return to Kuala Lumpur's skyline. Ancient and modern coexist, just like cultures do. The metaphor writes itself. No country is. Malaysia faces political debates, economic competition, and generational change. But the system has held for decades. And in a century defined by identity conflict, that's significant. Malaysia teaches something subtle to the world. Unity is not sameness. Stability is not silence. Progress does not require erasing tradition. If you enjoyed this deeper look into how countries really work beneath the surface, make sure you subscribe. Because next time, we're uncovering another place that's quietly rewriting the global rulebook, and you don't want to miss it. Travel isn't just about where you go. It's about what you understand when you get there. And sometimes, the biggest lessons are hidden in plain sight.